Hello Mississippi Goose, this is Mississippi Kim welcoming you back to more Let's Play Final Fantasy VIII. No, this is actually Mega Man 8 and we're tackling Frostland, Clown Man, and the mid-stage, and that's really all for this video. But in this episode, we're tackling, Frostman first, because I really like his weapon. It is, like, one of the best in the game. And it's basically like the water wave from Mega Man 5, except it's much better because, like, it can climb up walls, and it's not weak, and it's basically what the water wave should have been. But, yeah, this is Frostman's stage, and I really love the music for this stage. It is just awesome. And, well, here we're coming up to a section that has become somewhat infamous among gamers. Well, among Mega Man fans, that is. I don't know about among gamers in general, but, I don't find it that hard, really. I mean, to be clear, it's like, this is pretty easy, and because they, like, telegraph what you're supposed to do, it's not that hard to tell. Like, you have telegraphs as to what you're supposed to do, and so they give you enough time to react. It's pretty easy, actually. I don't get why people have a problem with this. Well, okay, that's not entirely true, because to be clear, there is some... Like, I've heard online that there are some problems with the Anniversary Collection version where there's supposedly input lag. Now, I can't verify this myself because I haven't played the Anniversary Collection version. But the version I'm playing has no input lag, it's instantaneous. And like, if the input lag really is there, then it's like, yeah, I can understand why people would take issue with that and find that to be annoying, but that's not really difficult, that's just bad controls. And it's like, that's not really the same thing as, like, genuine difficulty, and this is not as hard as people make it out to be, really. In fact, I'll probably be able to get through this stage in one life, but, yeah, I love the music to this place, it just sounds so epic. And one thing I also love is the music for the stage select. It is awesome too. It's probably, like, it's one of the best stage select themes in the entire series. You know, I've been mocking the voice acting so far, and with good reason, but one thing I cannot mock is the soundtrack. It is awesome. And the Tornado Hold is an awesome weapon, too. It's great for taking out enemies that are directly above you, and it does continuous damage. It's just a great weapon to use. And the music in Mega Man 8 is so awesome that they used a lot of it for the Mega Man Legacy Collection, too. And, like, it's really great. I love the stage select theme, the intro stage theme, which is also the same as the mid-stage theme. I just feel I should have mentioned that. But it's great, and there's not a whole lot to compare the intro stage theme to, but it is still awesome. And Frostman's stage is pretty fun, I must admit. And I like using the tornado hole to find new paths. One thing you can also do with the tornado hole is use it to create a current of air to lift you higher. And that comes in handy for getting to certain places. So they actually give you like 2 things that are useful to like lift you into the air. And if it were just a good weapon, then I'd also love the tornado hold, but the fact that it can lift you into the air, like, I think that's that's another reason to love it. But I feel I find the voice acting for Frostman to be amusing. Like, I will feed you! I'll make a popsicle of you! It's like, that is just so ridiculous. And Grenade Man just sounds like it. It sounds like he's got something in his throat, and he just needs to sound so weird, so aggressive. And, well, man, it's questionable. I mean, for starters, the whole idea of a clown man is just ridiculous in the first place.
Crazy!
But not to mention, he kind of sounds like he has a cold all the time. Or just sounds so nasally, and that is just weird. It's kind of like, why? And to be clear, like, really, I think the only 2 voice actors for the Robot Masters that I kinda like are for Tengu Man, who actually does sound pretty decent, I must admit. But the other one would be for Searchman, and maybe Swordsman, but the others are just, questionable. Like for Tenguman, he actually does sound decent. I mean, not the best, but alright. Serviceable. And, the others that, like, aren't Searchman, and really Searchman, it's more just because I find him amusing than specifically good. But, for the others, it's all like, I don't think I unironically enjoy any of them besides Tenguman and maybe Swordsman. Oh, sorry, Swordman. Which for some reason the voice actor for Swordsman gets wrong. Swordman. He said, I'm Swordsman. When, no, there is no S. It is spelled as 2 separate words. Swordman, not Swordsman. But that's neither here nor there. And I find the tornado hold to be really effective against several bosses. Like, it is just ridiculous, man. And the ice wave is awesome too, so it's like, I don't think this is a great Mega Man game. In fact, it's one of the weaker entries in the series in my eyes. But, to be fair, I do think it has some awesome weapons, and it has that going for it over Mega Man 5. But we're here in Clown Man's stage, and it has a lot of things where you need to, like, stand on specific platforms when the bell is rang, like when someone rings the bell. And you can actually pay attention to the background to see when it's going to be hit, so that's good. And you can use that to, like, plan your advance. The ones with circles on them are safe to be on. The ones with skulls, you'll fall through. And the ones with, like, arrows, those just send you back. And meanwhile, the ones with the X's on them will damage you. There are also question mark things, which are coming up. They all basically send you to some mysterious other blocks, like they'll teleport you. And I'm going for all of the bolts in this stages, well, all of the ones that I can get. They do kind of force you to backtrack into stages to get to some bolts that you couldn't get before, and I don't really like that. You know, I don't mind backtracking as much as most people, but still, some of the stages you need to backtrack to can just get tedious. I mean, like, when I'm doing a normal playthrough of this game, I don't usually want to, like, find all of the bolts because they involve a good deal of this backtracking, and I am not fond of that. But the developers are actually kinda sneaky. In one of the parts that are coming up, they actually hide a bolt in one of the question mark blocks. Well, the path to one, that is. And so, you need to, like, get into it and, like, head into that path. And they don't really give any indication of this whatsoever. So it's like, you just gotta figure that out for yourself. Or, you know, just look this stuff up online. Which, you know, this is a 100% playthrough. And to clarify what I mean by that, I mean, like, this game is going to, like, I'm going to get all of the bolts, not necessarily all of the upgrades, and I will show off all of the upgrades, but I won't get them all in one playthrough. Like, you can't get them all in one playthrough. There are only enough bolts for so many, and so they limit that. Also, apparently a good point about Frostland is everything hefty. I have no idea what that means. If someone would love to clarify what that means, then feel free to do so in the comments below. Like, huh? I don't even understand what they mean by that. Everything hefty? Does that mean that, like, everything in his body is hefty, or what? And his bad point is stoutness? He also dislikes chilblain, which is a sore that is caused by having cold, like your skin freezing, which is questionable because he's a robot. Why would he get chilblain? That's a human thing, not a robot thing. And if he does, then he's a rather poorly designed robot, especially considering he's called Frostman. Then again, he is designed by Dr. Lowy, so there's that. Dr. Lowy is an idiot! Because he designed Grenade Man. See the previous video for why Grenade Man is so stupid. I guess maybe he doesn't like seeing others get chilblain. And he also likes sorbet, which is apparently some Middle Eastern ice cream-like dessert. Well, I think it's similar to sherbet in a few ways, but I mean, I've never actually had it myself, so I wouldn't know. Also, Clownman dislikes everything.
Weakling, this isn't a joking matter.
That's not an exaggeration, like, that's actually what his profile says. He dislikes everything.
Ouch! What have you done to me?
Really? I mean, he says that it says that he likes giant swings. That would be classified under everything, if you ask me. And he's just like, what have you done to me? And then you beat him.
See you in my dreams.
See you in my dreams. And it's like, no, I'd rather not. You know, a lot of people seem to find clowns scary. I never understood that. It's like, I don't see why people think they're so scary. For me, it's always been like scarecrows. And you gotta love this scene. I'm almost finished. You gotta love that voice acting.
Charged in 10 minutes.
I'll make a list of jokes that I can make about this scene after it's over. And as before, I'm going to subtitle this scene. And apparently Clown Man was designed, like, okay, to be clear, Frostman was apparently designed with the remaining parts of he was designed with the leftover parts of Clown Man. Leftover parts. What? It's a lot of leftover parts. It's like, is it even fair to say they're leftover parts when Frostman is the bigger one? It's like, that don't make sense. But, yeah, this cutscene actually introduces us to Duo. And Duo is just a bland character. Like, I need to get this off my chest. I know I've been making fun of the voice acting a lot so far. And, yeah, it is terrible, but even if I overlook that, then it's still not a very good story. Like, they act like it's this big deal. It's like there's all this emphasis on the story, so it must be good, right? And it's like, no, I don't care about this story. It's so bland. It's like, this character Duo, they act like it's this big deal, like he's this cool new character, and it's like, no. He just, like, comes out of the blue, and he just sort of, like, shows up out of nowhere, and you're expected to be interested in him? Like, no. And now, it's time for the top 5 jokes I could make about this scene. Number 5.
Must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
If you're gonna hire random nobodies off the street, at least do multiple takes. Number 4. Dr. Wily once wild in landed from outer space and one wild and we so that he can rule the world with an iron fist. Number 3. Where am I? I know. Don't just burst through the ceiling without asking anybody. That makes complete sense. Number 2. What? This robot that came from outer space, out of the blue, is unpredictable and wants to escape? Who would have thought? Number 1. Oh sure, let's just leave this strange robot that came from outer space unattended. I'm sure nothing bad will— dang it! He got away! Dr. Wily may be a complete idiot, but Dr. Wily is not far behind. But as for Duo himself, well, I mean, he just comes to Earth and fights monsters. I cannot list a single characteristic of him beyond that. He's just so forgettable. And it's like, he's not— it's like, I get that, like, they're trying to, like, make this more story-focused, but it's like, when you don't care about the characters and you, like, spend so much time on these cutscenes, you'd expect that maybe the story would be half-decent. It's not. It's just there. In fact, like, I think this is probably one of the weakest stories in the series. And I know Mega Man games aren't known for their stories, so it's like, there's that, too. It's like, Mega Man 4 at least had some interesting twists, like, an interesting character who does actually carry over for future games. Dr. Cossack. And he's kind of interesting. And, you know, the NES games had better stories than this. And they were, like, simplistic and basically non-existent. So it's like, this game with all of its advanced hardware and advanced technology that allows for anime cutscenes, they can't make that interesting. But, yeah, Duo is just some bland, uninteresting character who just sort of comes out of nowhere, and it's like, I don't care for him. And the voice acting for him is, well, rather questionable, just like I've said for various others, but ignoring that, I don't see how I'm supposed to care for him. Also, I just died right there. It's a bit embarrassing, but I don't know why I'm even using the tornado hold on him. I think his weakness is actually the ice wave. And his comet attack can be a little tricky to avoid, but it's not that bad. He's still pretty easy. And, yeah, there's not much to this. Oh, and for the record, yes, I did just title this video as a reference to the Phantom Menace. Sue me. I don't even like that movie, but I'm still gonna reference it because I do intend to keep up this Star Wars theme naming. I haven't really talked about the Thunderclaw, but basically it works like a grappling hook. You can use it to attack enemies, but to be honest, it's kind of a lackluster weapon. So, yeah, he's telling Proto Man's now here to tell us about Wowie Tower. That's Dr. Wowie's new castle. So, there's a cutscene that's coming up here, and, well, it's, once again, got Class A voice acting. And just like the previous scene, I am going to have a top 5 list of jokes that I could make about this scene. The scene also has, like, a part where Mega Man is being electrocuted, and that is, like, annoying. Like, I've actually gotten around to, like, playing the Japanese version, and so far, it's like, I can only assume the voice acting is better than it is in the English version, but that's only because I don't speak Japanese, so I have no idea. If someone who does speak Japanese and is familiar with the voice acting and has played the Japanese version, please feel free to tell me whether the Japanese voice acting is bad. And yeah, this story is just kind of dull. It's not very interesting. Like, why am I supposed to care about Duo? Like, yeah, I know his voice is rather unfitting and not proportional to his size or anything like that, but still, ignoring that, I don't see why I'm supposed to be interested in him. He just comes to Earth to, like, stop evil energy. And he actually bought, he's actually the robot that bought, the dark, purple robot in the intro, in, like, the opening scene. However, the evil robot hasn't really got an official name. Though I have read that apparently that evil robot is like known in a manga as Trio, because it's like duo and trio. That's kind of interesting, and he's also known as, by some fans, as duo spelled backwards. Also, giant enemy robot gorilla. Just felt I should mention that.
Yes. This is what you people call
Yeah, for some
energy.
reason everyone seems to
studies
sound
so
like
far,
they've been
the one who
recording
obtained the original
the
energy
lines
must be
in their
being a
friends'
complete evil.
apartments,
This type of
in
energy
the living
absorbs
rooms,
the evil in a
in
person's
the
mind,
middle of the
and
night.
then multiplies.
Because
Judging by the
they
quick rate of
try
its
and
growth,
sound like they're
it'll take
gonna
over the
shout.
planet with evil energy in a matter of days. We must
They'll
stop
sound
it.
very angry, but it also
Since the
sounds
original
like
energy
they're trying
exists in
to
that
whisper
power.
their frustrations. You know how it is.
The barrier prohibits
But,
me from going there.
yeah,
I'll destroy the
this,
rest of the evil energy
this
that has
video is
spread
gonna
throughout
be a
Earth.
pain to
You search
edit,
and
I
destroy
can
the
already
energy sources
tell.
for that barrier.
Let's do it! Time to go, Rush!
But, well, now it's time for the top 5 jokes I could make about this scene. Number 5. Whoever voiced Rush sounds like a drunkard doing an impression of a dog. Number 4. It's like my spirit. I should always shall roll us all shall not be despair. Wait, what the heck just happened? I was out of it for a second there. Number 3.
Didn't think you'd make it this far,
Didn't think you'd make it this far? I stomped your nasty hide 7 times already! You don't think I'd make it this far? You really are an idiot, Wowie! Number 2. This is the
This is what
voice
you
you
people
get
call
when you try to
evil energy.
record in the living room
Based
of
on
your
my
friend's
studies so far,
apartment in the middle of
one
the
who
night.
obtained the-
Number 1. And he tore through the giant enemy robot gorilla that guarded a giant evil high-tech castle. Never thought I'd utter that phrase, but it's not inaccurate. Not too bad, but, well, I think that will have to be about it for this video. So join me next time when we take on the next set of Robot Masters, and I don't think we'll finish them, but here they are, by the way. We have some new faces. We have Astroman, Swordman, Aquaman, and Searchman. So join me next time when we tackle on Searchman first. See y'all then. This is the Mississippi King signing out.